Are we ready? Oh, my clicker. How does it work again? Just the next button?
Hopefully.
Yeah, okay. Are we all ready to go? We good to go? Okay, cool. Hey, everyone. Welcome to How to Apply to Slice. I imagine you're all here because you are interested in applying to Slice and probably have some idea of what it is, but is anybody not familiar with Slice? Okay, what do you know about it? Have you been to a show or?
I have not been to a show. I came here to learn more about it. I think the website is really cool.
Cool. Thanks. We've been working hard on it. We'll have a new one coming soon too. But yeah, so Slice is the St. Louis Independent Small Press Expo. We originally started as, wow, I said that backwards. We originally started as the St. Louis Independent. I woke up wrong today. The St. Louis Small Press Expo is what it was originally called in 2014, and then went on a hiatus in 2020 for the pandemic, and then we came back as the St. Louis Independent Comics Expo, which is what we are called now. So yeah, we are a small press expo for comics, zines, prints, illustrations, chapbooks, lit mags, anything that is print arts or small press. That's what we are about. And our show this year is going to be on Halloween. So our opening night is February. Oh my gosh, I really woke up wrong today. Is October 30th? Is Friday, October 30th is our opening night, and then the 31st is our show. And we encourage everyone to come in costume. So we're trying to go all in for Halloween this year. And yeah, our application cycle is now open. It started June 1st and it goes until July 15th. So we are going to tell you all about what makes a good application and what we are looking for. So you want to apply to Slice. Nice. We want to help. So this is what we're going to talk about today. Can I apply to Table at Slice? We're going to go through if you are even eligible, and odds are you are, because I told you a little bit about what Slice likes to exhibit at our expo. So we cover a lot. It's not just comics. And then we're going to go through what the application looks like, what sort of questions it asks you. We'll give you some tips and tricks, and we'll give you a peek behind the review process, what the judges look for when reviewing applications. And then we'll have some time for a Q&A at the end. So can I apply to Table at Slice? As I mentioned, if you make any of the following, you can apply to Slice. Pretty much anything as long as it is printed. I know we have Independent Comics Expo in the title, but it's more than just comics. You can make zines, chapbooks, lit mags. One of our special guests in our first year had TTRPGs, illustrations. Pretty much any sort of small press or print art is what you are welcome to bring to Slice. My hair fell down. So don't be turned off by the title, because we're not looking for just people who make comics. So if you feel like, I don't make comics, can I apply to Slice? Well, if you make anything small press, print arts, yeah, we want to see your work and we want to give you that platform. So please feel free to apply. But just in case, please do not bring anything AI generated to Slice. If you are planning on making AI art, the door is right over there. Needless to say, we, as artists, as creatives, you guys know why AI is bad. We don't have to get into it today. We're only here for a little bit of time. So the application. So there's going to be some required general information. Your publisher name, that might be a little bit confusing sometimes. What it really means is like, what name do you want your work to be seen under? For example, I have a friend named MK Tran, and they exhibit under the name Miasmatic Art. So they would put Miasmatic Art under your publisher name. And then where it says your name, they would put MK. So we need your email. That is really important. If you don't give us your email, we cannot contact you. Please make sure there are no typos. Please make sure you put the dot before the .com. Any little error can make it really difficult to find you if we want to put you in our show. So yeah, your name, demographics, pronouns, so we know how to address you. And demographics info, largely it's for grant purposes. Slice is a nonprofit, and we get a lot of our funding through grants, and grants want to know things like that. But they want to know like the demographics of who we're bringing into the show and who we're working with. And it also comes into play later when we're picking out who is tabling at the expo, because we want to make sure we represent like a wide variety of creators and it's not just really homogenized. Recommended general information. If you have a website and social media, please include them. It really helps us get a sense of who you are, the kind of work you make, because you aren't always able to share a lot of work samples in your application. So this is a great place to put that extra stuff. If you have a website, social media, great. If you don't worry, because there are other opportunities for you to let us know who you are through your application. So the who you are as an artist section, that will be where you put a bio, a little bit about yourself, who you are as an artist, what kind of work you like to make. We'll ask about your publisher type. So that could be like if you are just one person making work, you're an individual creator. If you are a collective or group, that's like if you and like 3 other people get together and, you know, make work together and sell as a collective. Yeah, small press if you run your own publisher. And other, which is if you are other. But yeah, I think they're pretty straightforward. What you make section, work categories. As mentioned earlier, we'll accept people who make comics, magazines, photography, zines, prints, merch. So in the work categories section, you'll be able to check off what kind of work you make, and you can select more than one. So if you're like, I make zines and magazines, because I like short words and then long words that are the same thing. You can check them both off. Work descriptions, again, we want to see a description of the kind of work that you're bringing. I find this section is really helpful because sometimes when I'm looking at an application, it's like, well, I really like what this person is showing us, but I can't really get a sense of how much they're going to have at their table. And we want to make it worthwhile for you to be at the expo. So if you have like one really great piece, but we're like, I don't know if that's enough to fill a table. Like, this is a great place to say, like, hey, you know, these are the kinds of things I'm planning to bring at the table. Like, these are the things I want to bring to the expo. And it really helps us get a sense of like how much you're going to be able to come to the show with and whether it's going to be worthwhile for you to be one of our exhibitors. Modifiers, we have a section where you can check off if it is not safe for work or kid friendly. I recommend doing this if your work is like primarily one or the other. Like if you sell mostly NSFW work, please check that off. If you sell mostly kid friendly work, please check that off. And this is because when we're doing the table layouts, we like to keep those 2 creators separated. We have a section in the front where all of our like kid friendly exhibitors are going to be. And then towards the back, we'll put the NSFW work. I find that sometimes creators will check off like maybe both because like, well, maybe I have one print that's a little NSFW and I have one zine that's like suitable for kids. That makes it a little complicated knowing where to place you in the layout. So I would recommend checking off one or the other if your work like primarily encompasses that type of work. Logistics. We would like to know if you are a first-time tabler. This is something new we've added to the application. We would just really like to know where people are coming from. Like, is this going to be your first opportunity at an expo? That's information we want to know. We want to make sure we're giving people opportunities who will really benefit from being in this space. And yeah, half table versus full table. So we offer both sizes. A full table is 6 feet long, like that. I think that's a 6-foot table. And then a half table obviously would be half of that. If you apply for a full table, we might offer you a half table, and that's because we want to give as much space as possible to as many exhibitors as we can. So if everybody applies for a full table and we give everybody a full table, that's a small number of exhibitors we can have. So we can't give everybody who asks for a full table, but we are very discerning about who gets those. So if you apply for a full table and you end up getting a half, that is why. And then a waitlist notification preference. We will ask if you are placed on a waitlist, how much time would you need in advance in order to come fill a spot at the expo if one opens up. So we get over 200 applications every year. We can only fill about, we can only select around 120 exhibitors. So there's a chance that we'll put you on a wait list in case an exhibitor cancels. We can pull somebody from that wait list and fill that spot. But if you say like, I need like 2 months notice to be able to come to the expo. If we have a spot open up a week before the expo, I'll know like, well, I can't ask this person because they're not available. So yeah, that's about that. So the most important section is the work samples. You get to highlight 3 examples of your work. We value original work and a unique voice. And one of the most important things is that we want to make sure we can access your link. We've had many an exhibitor send us a Google Drive link, and when we click on it, it says you have to request access. And that can slow things down because, as I mentioned earlier, we get over 200 of these, and if we can't see the work right away, that makes it a little difficult to give you the full review that you deserve. We also get some work samples that are behind a paywall, and that can make things difficult if we maybe are not in a position to, I mean, we always want to pay you for your work, but again, we have over 200 of these. So the more accessible they are, the easier it is for us to review your application. And I think we mentioned this earlier, but if you've tabled before, show us what your setup looks like. If you have not tabled before, do not worry. We're not going to favor people who have a picture of their table set up. But this really, really helps us, especially if, you know, maybe we're looking through your work samples and we say, well, I really like their work, but I don't really get an idea of how they would fill their table with that. Well, this is a great way to show us, like, because you only get to highlight 3 examples, but if we see a picture of your table, it's like, wow, now we get to see like 10 things that they get to show. So that's a really good opportunity to do that. And again, if you don't have a picture of a table set up, because this might be your first time tabling, other spots that you can do this is the section where you describe your work. So just anything that really gives us an idea of what you're going to bring to the expo is super helpful. Tips and tricks. No, seriously, make sure that we can see your link. It happens more often than we'd like, and it's a bummer because we really want to give everybody the time they deserve when we're reviewing your applications. And if we can't review your link, then it's like, well, it could have been really great and we just don't know. So that's probably one of the first things I would recommend doing before you hit submit is make sure those links work. And again, the more detail and work samples you can provide, the more reviewers can make an informed opinion. But if you have like a whole graphic novel that you want to send us, we might not have the time to read the whole thing. So yeah, a few pages of a sample will be a lot easier for the reviewers to look at. So yeah, send us your best work and make it brief enough that we have time to include it in our pile of 200 or so reviews. We also, if you want to table with someone specifically, there are ways to do this. So if you have another person in mind that you want to share a table with, what we recommend is both of you apply separately. And if you both get in, you will then receive a Google form link where you can fill out your preferences and you can say within that form, I would like to table with this person. And that is the most equitable way that we can do it so that we can see everybody's applications and judge everybody fairly. And then once we've accepted our exhibitors, then we can say like, hey, this person wants to table with that person. So yes, apply separately. And then once you're both in, we can pair you together. I know I'm zipping through this really fast. We'll have a Q&A at the end, but is there anything that has been unclear so far?
I'm the voice of chat. I don't know if this is actually working, but we're going to pretend that it is. From the chat, would a website be fine to use as a link to our best work?
Yeah, if you want to link to like different sections of your website, like if you have work samples on your website, yeah, you could just link to that page. Yeah, people do that a lot, and that's an easy way. You don't have to send us like a Drive link or like a JPEG or anything like that. Like, yeah, if you have that work available on your website, just a direct link to that would work too. What else? Yeah. So yeah, more tips. Don't try to anticipate the reviewer's preferences. Yeah, and then show us how weird and weirdly specific your preferences are. We want to know about you. We want to open the expo to all of the amazing artists that St. Louis and the greater Midwest region have to offer. St. Louis has such a cool artistic community, and we want to give y'all a platform. So don't be afraid to share who you are and the kind of work you make. We love weird stuff. Yeah, so don't try to share what you think we're looking for. Just be yourself. And I think that goes for everything. Now for a little peek behind the curtain. After applications close, the judges will divide up the applications amongst themselves. So there, in the past, have been maybe, I don't know, 7 judges. I think this year we have maybe 9. So there is a pool of judges who are all on the Slice staff, and they split up into little teams and review chunks of the applications. So not everybody we don't all review the applications, like every single one. We kind of split them up. So every application is getting like at least 5 eyes on it. So we review them on a rolling basis. So our judges are reviewing applications as we speak, hopefully. And we rate them on a scale of 0 to 4 about how much we think they would be a good fit for our show. And then those ratings are averaged out. And then the team gets together and goes through all the applications. So maybe one person felt really strongly about one application they saw that another reviewer didn't get to see, and that's a time where we share that insight. And when we're selecting the final exhibitor list, we want good distributions on all fronts, which I mentioned earlier when we were talking about demographics. We want to make sure we're representing a wide variety of creators, and it's not just one same group throughout. So we want to give variety. We want to show an accurate reflection of what our community looks like. And then after that, you will get one of 3 responses. You will get either an acceptance and table size, which is either a full table or a half table. Again, if you apply for a full table, you might end up with a half, and that's just because we can't offer full tables to everyone, so that we can have as many exhibitors as possible at our expo. If you don't get an acceptance email, you might get a waitlist email, which again is if we have somebody back out of the expo later on, we are able to fill that spot with somebody from the wait list, and you will have an opportunity within your application to say how much advance notice you would like, if you need a month's notice to get ready for the expo, or if you need like a day's notice to get ready for the expo. That's information we want. And you also might get a rejection, which is not a reflection on you or your work. It's just, again, we have only so many tables to fill, and we get so many applications in. And it's really hard to tell people no, but we always encourage you to keep applying, because we're gonna be back for the next million years, and you never know when it's gonna be your time. So yeah, we love everybody that applies. So yeah, that was my quick run through of how to apply to Slice. Does anybody have any questions? Yes.
Please hold.
Oh yeah, we have a microphone.
So you mentioned geography as one of the factors. What do you mean by that? Like how close you live to the expo hall?
Just your like where you live geographically in the United States.
Okay.
We want to make this like a Midwestern focused show,
Okay.
but we're also not turning away people who don't live in the Midwest. But that comes into play when we're determining the demographics of our exhibitors. We want to make sure we reflect, the artists in the Midwest, but also we're going to invite people from New York and California too. But we like to have that information.
Okay, thanks. I was curious about that.
No problem. Any other questions?
If we get rejected, do we get told why or any critique on our work?
We don't tell everybody why, but you are more than welcome to reach out and ask why. It's just that we don't have the time to give everybody like an individualized response, but you're absolutely more than welcome to reach out and say, hey, could I have some insight into what I can do better next time? Like we're more than happy to give you that information. Mikhail.
If we were part of a community zine that we did with other artists, and we're each of us sell different ones, is that okay to have at our table, even if it's not just our work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else have questions?
Thank you. So, if you're a two-person team, like writer and artist, what would that go under in the application?
That's a good question. I don't know. Brandon, Audrey, Mikkel, do you have any insight into that? There we go.
There's also other.
There's also other. Yeah,
There
I
is
feel
also
like
other.
we've had like groups of two. We have like Melon Press, who's a local Rezo printer. It's two people, and I think they put themselves under as a collective,
Okay.
or maybe other. So yeah,
Very
yeah,
good.
I would say collective.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Good question. Really got us thinking.
Who else?
Anybody else? Up here, two questions up here.
If you're a first-time tabler, what should you put in your bio besides like the type of work you like to do? Because I feel like there's like advertising that needs to be done that you're not experienced with if you're first time.
Yeah, just the work that you like to do, who you are, a little bit about yourself. Yeah. Go.
Pet's name.
Okay. Can I press it? Yeah.
Sorry I'm so late.
All
But
good.
what, in your opinion, helps applications stand out compared to others? Like what's going to yeah, basically that question.
Yeah, great question. I think for me personally, an application that stands out, like really strong work samples, just a really clear description of what they're going to bring. And yeah, I think for me personally, I really look for like, can I visualize what this person is going to bring to the expo? Because sometimes we get like, not too many samples, but then they say like, I've made like 10 zines and I have 10 prints and I have a book coming, or like, it doesn't even have to be that like extensive, but just an idea of like what you're planning to sell. Yeah, do the other staff have any other thoughts on that? Mikkel.
Now that I have the mic, I don't know what I'm going to say. No, so it really comes down to sort of like work samples, as Kat mentioned, and some of the standout work examples have been sort of like, oh, I didn't know a zine could be folded this way. One of your friends has like this weird accordion zine, and when I saw that like in person, sort of like, oh, this is the stuff that I'm looking for, the stuff that like I can't get anywhere else. One of the truisms that we find is sort of like, we're trying to find something that only you could do, something only you would do. So the things that like only your weird imagination can come up with is really what it is. And sometimes that's sort of like, oh, I didn't know you could Rezo print like that. I didn't know like you could like cut paper like that. Like it is something that is stand outish in a way. And that's not to say that it has to be super weird, but like that's what catches my eye specifically a lot of the time. Sort of like, oh, I didn't know you could do that, and now I want to do that. And yet, for any writers out there, like I like chapbooks a lot. I'm not reviewing applications this time around though, but there is such a diverse representation of people reading this, so that like if you include the things that you like to see and the things that you want to purchase, likelihood is someone will want to do that as well. So
I'll second everything that you both said, and I think this also ties back with two of the points that we made earlier. We want to see work that shows your unique voice. We do have a lot of people who come to the expo who are very dedicated, like fan artists. They make a lot of like fan work, and that is great. It sells really well. But usually in the application, we want to see more of your like original creations, your original content, whatever is like more uniquely you as a creator. We also talked about the application process. There are going to be 5 judges looking at your application. You cannot anticipate their preferences, but we do have a wide range of creative backgrounds in the group. Mikkel's background is more on the writing side. My background is more on the illustration and graphic design side. So, like, if your work is strong, somebody who appreciates your discipline is probably going to be looking at it. So, just put your best foot forward, and show us what you got.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so my follow-up question is, do you prefer to see the work like in the format that it's going to be sold? Like, for example, instead of showing the illustration as like a PNG, do you prefer to see it as a print or a zine, like photographed?
I'll let
I
Brandon
do.
take that. Yeah, you do.
I do. I mean, so much of our expo is about the return to printed things, to tactile things. And so I'd rather see you holding this interesting folded zine rather than seeing like the print file with the, the cut marks and where you fold it and have to kind of do the work to envision that. I'd rather see the thing itself, personally.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Oh, Mikkel has another point. No, we have a question. Oh, we have a question from the chat. But yeah, just to wrap that up, like Audrey said, put your best foot forward. I love what Mikkel had to say about just being unique and things that we haven't seen before, and just making the work that you're proud of and showing it to us, and making sure we can making sure that comes through in your application, that we can understand your work that you're showing us and how it's going to be presented at the expo. I think. Chat.
We have a question from Supersteins.
I don't know who that is.
Neither do I. But that's what it's great about having a live streaming presence, that we can get people to ask questions like this. But should I put my fan art in my application if it's only half of what I sell?
If it's only half of what you sell? I mean, are you proud of it? I think if it's work that you're proud of, that you are planning to sell at the expo, and if you think it's some of your best work, show it to us. That's my opinion. Any other thoughts?
I mean, as we talked about before, we prefer to see unique things, but that can certainly be on your social media or on your website. But you only have 3 kind of file uploads. And so I'd maybe say 2 out of 3 at least should be original. Any other questions from chat or in the room?
This is your time, chat.
This
is your call. We did this for you.
Yes, another question.
So it kind of, this is more of a clarifying question. It kind of sounds like you want a variety of products, like not just one graphic novel, but like graphic novels and bookmarks and zines. You want like a variety at each table, correct?
I would say not necessarily a variety of stuff, but just enough to make it worthwhile for you to be at the show. Yeah, do you want to expand on that a little?
Maybe not so much a variety of kinds of objects. Like if you just make comics, that's fine. We don't need you to start making prints just for our show. But exhibitors do tend to do better if they have items at multiple price points. If you just have a $30 graphic novel at your table, you might not do as well that if you had the $30 graphic novel, you had a QR code, they could download the digital version for $10, and you've got some stickers or something, So
yeah,
that would be my advice.
Yeah, so try to have a few other options. If you have like one big project, maybe make a zine or 2 to sell alongside it to give people that variety. But I would say don't be turned away just because you do one thing, and don't try to feel like you need to bring extra stuff just to have a good application.
One of our recurring vendors, I believe, is a local lit mag. I believe it's Faces? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Faces. And they only do one thing, and that is student lit mags. But they have several volumes of student lit mags that cover a wide variety of things. So having that variety of content is really what we are looking for. If you do one thing, that's great. We love that. But if you have one item and this is the only item you're selling, that's not going to be good for you. And like, we're not as incentivized to sort of like, I'm not sure this is going to be the best fit if you're only selling like one zine or one type of thing. Like having multiple options makes it better for you, it makes it better for the vendors, because like ultimately we are building this experience for the community, and the community has a better time when they have more choices.
Question in the back.
Hello. Okay, so Brandon, you mentioned that you would love to see like photos of like printed versions, but would it be better if it's like there's like a photo of the printed version and with the PDF like attached to it, like the PNG of it as well?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. You're allowed to submit 3 links to 3 different files, but those files can be multi-page PDFs. They can be, multiple pages from a graphic novel, the entirety of a zine, and it could be multiple views of, as you suggested, Sarah, a print. Both the nice digital printed version and a picture of you or someone holding it up, or what it looks like at your table. The more information, the better. But it, again, don't expect us to read an entire 120-page graphic novel if you submit the whole PDF.
So, this was asked in chat. Yes, a file of a graphic zine spread would count for this type of thing. Anything that helps us understand it better.
Yeah, the types of work samples that we typically get in applications include links to somebody's website, like a particular page where they're detailing a project. So that can include a text description and multiple images. That works really well for us. We sometimes get PDFs off of Google Drive or something like that. That is either like an excerpt of a work or sometimes the whole work, which, as we've said before, can be challenging. We want you to like show us, 4 to 6 of your best pages, essentially. And sometimes we get links to social media posts with multiple images of whatever this project is, or, a photo of you at another expo. So really, as long as the link works and there's something for us to look at when we get there, that's what we want to see.
Yeah. So yeah, make sure your links work, put your best foot forward, and help us understand who you are as an artist and what you're bringing to the show.
And you can apply now.
And you can apply
right now. Probably not right
are
now.
Open. I mean, maybe right now if you wanted to.
Maybe right.
So yeah, we've got 2 QR codes. You could download the slides of this presentation today if you need something to refer back to, and applications are open until July 15th. You can apply at any time during this period. We don't take any preference for how early an application comes in. So take your time and polish it up, and please reach out to us if you have any questions whatsoever. We are more than happy to continue having this conversation with you if you have any other questions. And I think that's it. I meant to introduce us before we started, but I got really excited about applying to Slice. I'm Kat. I am the board secretary for Slice. That's Mikkel.
Hi, I'm just a board member. I like being a board member. It's fun.
Oh, I guess I'm not on camera. Hi, chat. I'm Audrey. I'm an organizer of Slice. I do most of the marketing work. And this is...
I'm Brandon. I am the fundraising chair and treasurer.
And behind the camera, we got Imani, who is running our tech today. Did you have a question?
No.
Oh. What? Did our link change?
QR codes break a lot, so sorry about that.
Thank you for letting us know. Here, guess what? Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. The link is also right here.
Okay. Sorry, technology is painful. That's why we have a team now.
Thank you for letting us know. This wasn't a trick.
Thanks, Kat.
We're going to cut the live stream. We're going to stick around in the physical space for a little bit longer if you want to ask us anything while we are shutting down. So